Hey there, Duckonta here. Learning how to graph in Google Sheets is not only a helpful tool and resource to you, but also necessary in every level, not only in high school, but also in college. You need to be able to learn how to graph things, especially for chemistry or math courses, including biology courses for some things, and you have to be able to make yourself a nice graph. So please keep watching to figure out how to do that. Today we're going to be graphing a density example. So if you want to graph density of an object, in this case I'm trying to find the density of, say, water, I'm going to graph my values that I got within a lab and see, using a trend line, what my density would be. We know that density is mass divided by volume, and we know that a slope is y over x. So likewise, it's a number over another, and that's what gives us a density value, or the slope thereof. In this case, if we took water and we found different masses for it and different volumes, so we took a cup, we put it on a scale, and we added water till we had that much volume, and we looked at the mass, and it weighed that much, for example. That's where these numbers came from. Notice the way I have these plugged into Google Sheets is that I do not, I repeat, I do not have grams written after every single number value, and I do not, again, I repeat, do not have milliliters written after every single numerical value for volume. I have that written as my title. That's implying that all the numbers below it are in units of milliliters. Likewise here, I have grams written at the top. That's implying that all the numbers below it are in units of grams. The reason you must do this is crucial to your graphing success. The reason you must do this is if you put in a number with a letter, the Google graphing system is not smart enough to be able to graph that for you. You have to have any kind of letters separated from your numbers in order to graph efficiently and effectively. Please make sure, before you go any farther, that your column headers are the only things that have your unit in them, not your number values below them that you intend to graph. If you've got that squared away and set, in order to make a graph, we can highlight both of these columns that we have side by side, and we can go up to Insert. Once we're at Insert, we want to insert a chart. So I clicked on Chart, let it load up for a second, and there we go. Got it, thank you. Notice that it automatically gave us a bar chart. I don't necessarily want a bar chart for this graph. I want a line graph in order for me to be able to tell y versus x, in order for me to get a slope. I can't do that here with a bar chart. So I need to change the chart type. I'm going to go over to this setup over here, and instead of column chart, I'm going to scroll down, not line. I don't want line either. I'm going to scroll down to get to scatter. Scatter plot is what I want. There we go. Now you'll notice that both of these values are now plotted as separate points from each other. I don't want that either. I want my mass and my volume to be like an XY point on a graph, not treated like two separate points. So I need to merge these two data together. In order to do that, I'm going to go over to my series, which is behind my head here. Go over to my series, and notice that series is below x-axis. There's no data on my x-axis right now. Well, yike. That means series is representing our y-axis. I need to move one of these to my x-axis. In order to do that, I'm going to delete one of these down here. Let's try deleting mass. So I clicked on those buttons. Oop, there we go. Remove. And now I can click here To select a data range, I need to add mass to my x-axis. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Click and hold, so click and drag down to select your boxes. Okay. Excellent. So now I have mass on the x-axis and volume on the y-axis in this case. Now I need to make sure that they're actually on the correct axis. So let's think about this before we go any farther. I told you that density is mass over volume. Mass divided by volume. And the slope is y over x. Mass would be equivalent to y for slope. Mass over volume, volume would be equivalent to y over x. So actually, these should be switched. Now, this is a problem I often saw while teaching college. A lot of my students would flip their axes. They'd have the wrong data on the wrong axis and therefore throw off all their values. So please make sure you are logically looking back at your graph, logically looking back at your units, and making sure that they align on either the x or y axis accordingly. So let's go through and remove my volume. So I clicked on those three little dots there. Sorry, I can't scroll this up any farther for you. I'm going to click remove for my y, and I'm now going to add volume to my x instead. Now I correctly have volume on my x-axis and mass on my y-axis. The next step that we need now is to make this graph look a little nicer. It looks horrendous as far as I'm concerned right now. There are no labels. And if it's no labels, it's practically naked. Are you really going to send your graph out like that, all naked in the street? I hope not. That's just embarrassing. So we want to title our axes. For titling your axes or titling your graph, this is going to vary between whether you have a Mac computer or you have a PC. If you have a PC, you need to right-click on the graph. If you have a Mac, you need to two-finger click on the graph. So I have a PC, so I am going to right-click on the graph, and you can see that I have a drop-down menu that's now appeared. From that, you see chart and axis titles. My chart title is going to be right here. And I have mass and volume. Now, to properly title this graph, one of the many shortcuts you can take is calling it graph 1, and then defining what that graph is made of. This helps you when you're writing lab reports, when you're writing papers, or anything of the sort where you need to reference back to many different graphs. If you're making more than one, instead of referring to the entire title every single time you want to talk about it, you can just say, refer to graph 1, refer to graph 2. That makes writing a lot simpler down the road when you write up your lab reports. So I always start with graph 1. Now I'm going to explain what my graph is about. It's about density. Now, density and everything we've been talking about thus far has been in terms of y versus x. Therefore, your title should also reflect y versus x. And again, as mentioned before, density is mass divided by volume, y over x. So in this case, I have mass versus volume. That would be my y versus x. Excellent. Hopefully you've got it down that far. We now have a title on our graph. We still do not have a y-axis label or an x-axis label. We still need to put those in. Again, if you have a PC, right-click on the graph. If you have a Mac, two-finger click on the graph, and you'll see chart and axis titles. I want to go to my horizontal axis. Horizontal would be my x-axis. When I do that, I now have a pop-up bar over here that gives me a spot to put in my title. My x-axis, as mentioned before, again, y over x, mass over volume, Volume is what belongs on my x-axis, and that's volume in milliliters. Don't forget those units. I also want to label my y-axis. So I'm going to go back, right finger click. I'm going to go to my vertical axis this time. And I'm going to label that as mass. And my mass is in grams. So y over x, mass divided by volume. Excellent. We've got a beautifully labeled graph. Now the only thing we need to do is actually figure out the density. And in order to do that, we need to find a trend line for our data points. In order to insert a trend line into your graph, you're going to go on any one of your data points. So you can just hover over one of these data points and double click on it. If you double click on it, you should open up the Customize bar. You can also just open up your general chart editor and go to Customize. Scroll down until you get to these three little checkboxes. You want to click on Trend Line. Now that you have a trend line inserted into your graph, you also want to show your R-squared value. Your R-squared value is going to tell you how close your data truly is. Is it reliable data? So click on Show R-squared value. I have an R-squared that's pretty close to 1. That's pretty excellent data in my opinion. So that's good. That's really good. Now that I have an R-squared value, I also want a y equals mx plus b equation of my line. In order to do that, I'm going to click on this label box here. Notice how it says custom. I don't want custom, I want use equation. So I'm going to click on use equation, and you'll see automatically now the system has put in an equation for me in y equals mx plus b format. What you can see then is that my y equals m is the 0.997, x plus b is negative 0.083. In this case, my m is representing my slope, therefore the density in this case. So my density of this chemical would be 0.997, which is exactly what I expected for water. Water's density by professional standards is 1, but from what I could do, 0.997 is pretty close. Hope that was helpful. Happy graphing!